maybe go to the Chureto Pagoda overlooking Mount Fuji. It's great because you go there, you climb up for half an hour, and then you don't see Mount Fuji, and you want to smash a window. And that's my experience every single time I go that pagoda. But go there. It's great.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host, Chris Broad. We're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Dawson himself. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm in fine fettle, Chris. I've only recently found out, even though these things are coming at me quite quickly, that there is a Netflix... No, is it Amazon Prime? I think it might be Amazon Prime. Yakuza video game TV adaptation that's coming out.
Cool.
Which looks like a lot of fun. And there's a new Yakuza where Goro Majima is a pirate captain, and it's all about piracy and hanging out on boats and stuff like that. I think Goro wakes up on an island and he's lost his memory, and he becomes a pirate captain because, of course, he does. And he's the best character in Yakuza because he wears an eye patch and he's got tattoos. And it's for Yakuza fans, it's going to be a good year, I think.
That sounds incredible. I mean, I haven't really played the Yakuza game in years now, but you had me at pirates. You had me at eye patches. This sounds amazing. I've noticed, as you say, with the Yakuza TV series on Amazon, it seems that all eyes... There's been a lot of kind of eyes on Japan recently, a lot of TV shows here. We've had Tokyo Vice, had its second series this year, which I still have to watch. I quite enjoyed the first series. Shogun as well, which won all the Emmys. I saw some articles angry that Shogun won too many Emmys or some nonsense, which is a load of bollocks. It deserved all the Emmys it got. It was a really great show. But I feel like, and now we've got another Ghost of Tsushima sequel, right? Ghost of Yōtei, the sequel, which I think a lot of people thought that was Mount Fuji in the poster, because it's a very Fuji-esque looking mountain. But
I
Yōtei,
thought it was, yeah.
Exactly, and I did a little post on Twitter being like, actually, Yōtei is actually a mountain in Hokkaido. It's the Fuji. It's the Fuji of the north. So it's
is that the one that's really close to? Is that the one that's really close to Sapporo? Like, or am I thinking
it's kind of close-ish.
one? Right.
It is close-ish, yeah.
I've gone halfway up one mountain. I remember not halfway, but like. I stood near the bus stop that starts going up the mountain.
Yeah, that's how I should introduce you in the podcast. And introducing Pete Dawson, who's gone halfway up one mountain.
And he'll do it again.
God damn it. But no, I'm really excited about that. I think it's coming out next year, right? 2025? Ghost of Yōtei.
Yeah.
So, and I said on Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called, I said that I would potentially stream it this time, because I basically spent all of February, when I was unwinding from my mental breakdown that was Journey Across Japan Non-Stop North, 17 episodes, I was just like, right, fuck it, I'm going to sit on this beanbag and play Ghost of Tsushima, and I just couldn't put it down. It was one of the best games I played in a decade, so really hyped for this one, even though I watched the trailer and it kind of looks like Ghost of Tsushima, but that's it. It's like that's only like the only change is the main character is now a woman, and that's the only change I could see. But I'll play it. God damn it! Even if it was just literally the same game with different quests, I'd play it because it was so much fun.
Well, I imagine. I mean, the snow is very beautiful, and that's obviously going to be almost a third character in a lot of this stuff. But I think it'll be a big showcase for the PS5 Pro, which I believe is out soon, isn't it? Out soon. Those lovely PlayStation 1 versions of the old PlayStation 5 Pro looked pretty good, but they're very expensive, and I think about 3 people got one.
Are you going to buy the PlayStation 5 Pro?
No, because I played my PlayStation 5 exactly 3 times, and each time was FIFA.
I've only used it once really, and that's for Ghost of Tsushima for a whole month. But I'm looking forward to the fact that it'll be a game that's a lot easier to pronounce. No matter how many times I say it,
Tsushima.
90% of people say Tsushima, right? As though it's some sort of island comprised of sushi, when it is Tsushima, like tsunami. So, yeah. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for Yōtei, Ghost of Yōtei. I feel awful. I've just eaten a whole Shake Shack before coming on here. And every time I eat a Shake Shack, I go, oh, why did I eat that? Why did I eat...
Who is this Shake? Who is this Shake, and why did you eat a Shack? What's going on?
Shake Shack. It's the basketball player. Ended up...
He's doing some work in Dubai. It's a Shake Shack.
He's off to Dubai. Shake Shack. That'll be a great promo for Shake Shack.
Why have we done that?
It's the most ludicrously... Have you ever had one? It's the most ludicrously priced meal ever.
Are they
It's supposed to
expensive?
be
I mean,
fast food.
I have had a couple. I have dirtied my boots inside Shake Shack, and they are delicious. They're just kind of like they're kind of like your McDonald's, but they've went. You know what? Come on. Let's do this properly.
Potato bread.
Let's do this properly. I mean, is that what it is? Potato bread?
The
Potato
bun
in your
is
bread?
like some sort of magical potato bread or something, and the burgers are fucking harvested from the unicorns of Narnia. I don't know. All I know is I eat it and I go, fuck, why'd I do that? Like, it's fun. It's a fun eating experience, but at the end of it, I'm like, that was a lot of money, and I feel really awful now. And my body's just grease. And
I mean, I will say that when I was on holiday in Anik, I did send you a picture of what I was eating, and I was dipping Quality Street in clotted cream because my mate said it tasted good. It does taste good, but when I'm having a discussion with the doctor at 45 and my arteries have hardened, that is why eating clotted cream and chocolate for an evening meal. But yeah, I'd heartily recommend it. If you want to have a go. But I mean, it's very rich. Oh, it's rich.
You absolute madman. Well, I'm treating myself to Shake Shack because I finally had an interview that's long awaited with Governor Koike, the governor of Tokyo.
You getting a job?
Yeah,
with the governor.
That's what's happening.
With the governor. Wow. Okay.
She summoned me in. She said, "Chris, it's time for a change of regime around here. We want a foreigner to run Tokyo badly."
Tokyo Sheriff Chris
Tokyo
Broad.
Sheriff.
Come on.
It's an HBO series coming soon where I get to run Tokyo into the ground with
his
sheriff
assistant,
badge.
his naughty assistant Natsuki. Oh, come on! Somebody Photoshop that together.
I mean, I would gladly be the right hand man of Governor Koike and see what the hell happens. We don't need that highway. We don't need that there at all. Just demolish Tokyo. No, I've been working on this earthquake documentary for the last 2 months at great time and expense with an amazing team of people. I basically hired a production company to help me with it. I want to do it right, and a team that's like done stuff for Netflix, I think the BBC,
right?
And they did an amazing job setting up the interview. There was like 8 different lights, and it looked like it almost looked like an interrogation. I was a bit worried that because we sort of get into the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building.
Yeah.
And it's the building where it has the free observation deck, like 200 metres above Tokyo in Shinjuku. The free observation deck for people that don't want to spend $500 million to go up the Shibuya Sky building. And it was cool. You go in, and we had an hour and a half to set up the lights. So by the time the team were done, it did look like we were going to brutally interrogate someone with all the lights. I was a bit worried that she would be daunted by that, but she walked in and she was very nice, very softly spoken. I didn't know what I was expecting, really, because I remember speaking to a Japanese friend about Governor Koike years ago, and she is one of the few women in politics in Japan. As we all know, Japan is run mostly by a group of 25, 75-year-old men, and every photo it's just men. And
some of them do sit-ups and do that, and they've got abs.
What was the name of that? Was that Yoshi?
I can't remember. It was after Abe, wasn't it? He decided he had a crack at it. Suga, it was. Yes, Suga, and he used to do like 60 sit-ups every morning, and he had rock hard abs.
Yeah, I love reading that article. It was like he would stay at a hotel near the Diet Building or something, and he would wake up at 5 a.m. and do 50 push-ups and read the newspaper and have coffee, and it's like that's a man we could do business with, isn't it?
Finally, a fuckable prime minister. Finally, what I wanted. That's what I wanted my politicians.
He's like 90 years old though. Like fair play to
but
him.
with the abs of a teenager. Come on, Chris. Come on.
And but no, it was a cool interview though. And she had like 6 PR people standing there watching the interview like a hawk.
Wow. Okay.
It's a group of hawks.
That's quite stressful.
And what's the plural of hawk?
A gaggle.
A gaggle of hawks.
Yeah.
Gaggle of PR hawk, and they watched my every utterance.
Right.
And I felt bad for her because she did her leg in. Did you see the video? She was doing baseball and she went to throw the ball and tripped up and damaged her leg rather publicly in front of thousands of people. Oof. And so she came in with a walking stick and whatnot. But for a woman who I was told was very scary, she was actually very pleasant, and her English is very, very good. Although she did speak in Japanese for most of the interview.
Right.
And I was basically just talking to her about what Tokyo has done in the run up to a potential mega earthquake, and how they would deal with it and whatnot. And I think it should be quite good. But it's only a small part of a bigger documentary, and hopefully the documentary should be coming out November or December. December, if I was to put my money on it. But you can watch the interview there. But we have got a story this week from Rob, who says, "Hello, Credible Chris and Pedantic Pete." I'll take that. Credible Chris. I like that.
Yeah, that's of
course I'm credible. I've met the governor. What a weird year it is. I posted about it on social media, and people are like, "Does this mean you're the ambassador now?" Yeah, that's how it works. You meet one politician, and you become the ambassador.
Get yourself a little townhouse in Shinjuku. Fantastic.
Throw Connor out. The power. I could be like, take his visa away, throw him into the sea.
Getting rid of all of the influencers and YouTubers and content creators,
ban them all.
So you could be the only one who's allowed to do it.
A monopoly. That's what we want.
Just doing some really, really pedestrian vending machine videos for the rest of your life. None of you can do any of this.
Mad with power. But, unfortunately, that will have to remain firmly in my imagination. Back to Rob's story, though. Hello, Chris and Pete. On our last trip to Japan in September 2023, we arrived at Narita Airport and were stuck on the tarmac for 3 hours thanks to a paperwork error by our airline. Who is this airline, Rob? Tell us who they are. Thank God he didn't get blown up like last week when an unexploded American bomb went off in bloody Miyazaki.
You don't want to hang about on a taxiway these days.
That's right, yeah, Jesus. After finally getting through customs and properly into Japan, we barely managed to get the last trains to our Airbnb located in Itabashi. Starving, we headed out in search of some dinner, hoping to find a late-night restaurant or convenience store nearby. About a block from the apartment, some locals started shouting to us from further down the street. We weren't sure what to do, as they didn't seem angry, so we decided to wait for them to catch up to us. They continued to shout as they approached us, so I replied with my very broken Japanese that we were gaijin, foreigners. Fighting our way through the language barriers, we realised that they thought we were some of their friends who they'd split up from earlier that evening. They motioned for us to follow them, asking, "Are you speedy?" What the fuck? After more confusion and gesticulating, we worked out that they were asking if we were in a hurry. They invited us to their home to smoke weed and eat ramen. Wow. We declined the offer since one of my friends worked in the mines and gets monthly blood tests, but it got me curious. This story just gets weirder and weirder. The casualness of their offer was surprising, as I thought drug usage was punished very severely in Japan. Is recreational drug use more common in Japan than the media leads us to believe? I can't wait until my next trip in 2025. Hopefully we'll drop by Lost Bar when we get there. All the best, Rob from Brisbane.
You're not welcome, you absolute addict. Smoking that sticky icky. With your friend who lives down a mine. Unbelievable.
That was quite the story, yeah. Working down the mines, dodgy airlines, weed smoking. What
a trip, Rob. Yeah. The thing about like Australian miners, I think, is one of those. I do voiceovers for one of the Discovery Channel derivatives, D-Max, in the UK, and a lot of like the shows are about Australian miners just pulling out loads of gold and diamonds and stuff.
Oh, amazing.
And they don't look like men who are drug tested. Like they look like they're on something. A lot of them. So I am shocked to my very core, Rob, that your friend is wee tested every few months. Amazing. So yeah,
and they get paid very well. I remember seeing like a video of like Australian people talking about how much they earned, and it was the miners who were like, "Oh yeah, mate, I make like fucking $200,000." So they get paid well.
Chris, me and you would last 5 minutes down that mine.
I wouldn't even go down the fucking mine. I'm not going down a fucking mine.
We'd be like, this may be great money, but I'm only getting paid for 5 minutes of it because I'm out of here. This is too hard. This is proper work.
But I mean, Rob asked, do people do drugs in Japan? It is rare, but there's an interesting statistic. The University of Keio did a study in 2020, and of the population of Japan's 125 million people, about 3% claimed to have used illegal drugs in their lives. Right. So, don't know where they get them from or how they did it. Maybe it was overseas or something. But, it's not a common thing to come across there. It really isn't. You don't. It's not like London where you walk down every street and smell it on the breeze. I don't.
No.
Probably smelt it one time in 12 years here. But
I've only ever been offered it once, I think, in
Japan.
And in Tokyo, which is obviously a massive metropolitan thing. And I've seen one bloke who is definitely on PCP or something. Other than that, very, very few experiences or references.
I've been offered it at bars over the years. Somebody in the corner will be like, "Do you want some drugs?" I don't know why they sound like that.
Right. Okay.
Playing too much Resident Evil. What are you buying?
Yeah.
But in 2023, the number of people apprehended due to cannabis-related drug crimes in Japan amounted to 6,482, representing the decade's highest. So it's been going up since 2014. So it is happening.
I got offered some crank in Lost Bar. It's just rife with it. It's like an old opium den. Disgusting.
Don't close down my bar.
Oh, close down my bar. You're fine. You can run a dodgy bar. You're friends with the governor, for crying out loud. You've got it made now.
If only that's how it worked.
Yeah.
Her PR staff were very impressed by the fact I had a bar, actually. So it went both ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're supporting the Metropolitan District. It's good.
Right.
Yeah.
The bar pays tax money. We pay our tax money to the Tokyo government, so they benefit from the alcohol. And also, just this week, Shibuya announced that, not announced, but implemented the rule where you can no longer drink outside publicly in Shibuya, right?
Right, okay.
So, all the more business for Lost Bar. Lucky turn of events, wasn't it? Bloody hell. Probably for the best, though. Shibuya is absolutely horrible at night sometimes. It's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
I remember the first day that Lost Bar opened, I walked to the bar and there was at the entrance there was just a man drunk lying on the floor. And
you're not going to stop that though. You're not going to stop the drunkards, but you can stop the drinking. I think. I don't know. There is always one lying down.
I reckon we're going to see a lot less people flopped over on the street in a pile of awful. But anyway, time will tell. Time will tell, especially with Halloween just around the corner.
When's Pete got his ticket? When's Pete going?
Exactly. But some sad news or good news, depending on how you look at it. What's going on though, Pete? News of the week: Cat Island, or one of the Cat Islands. What's going down?
I'm always shocked about how much people and Abroad Japan fans love cats, so this story is going to cut them to their feline core. Aoshima, aka Cat Island, located in Ehime Prefecture, recently made news by announcing that all of its cats will be gone within the next few years. Did you visit Cat Island when you did your documentary Cat World, or what it's called?
Cat World? Fucking Cat Nation.
Cat
Get it
Nation.
Right.
Sorry,
Get it
Chris.
right.
I forgot about your
World.
your celebrated Cat World.
I know all about cats. I'm a cat genius. I will say that the headline of the article, Japanese Cat Island reveals all its cats will soon be gone. It sounds like somebody's going to be let loose there with a machine gun to fucking mow them down. It sounds pretty sinister.
See them down, yeah. We've both got cats in this shot. I think that's a cat. For those watching on YouTube.
That's a thermometer, isn't it? What the fuck is that?
It's not a thermometer. I'm not displaying my fanciest thermometer.
I've got a cat.
It's an automaton, and then you've got a cat next to you as well. We're both, even though I wouldn't count myself as a massive cat guy, but there's a cat and a Mount Fuji next to it. Anyway, I didn't come to talk about my cat-shaped automatons or your cat, Lucky.
I love my cat. I love his Maneki Neko. Love it. They're so cool looking, aren't they? Lucky cats. But to answer your original question, I did go to Cat Island, but not this one. There are two Cat Islands, believe it or not. I went to I think it's the OG of Cat Islands. And, when we say Cat Island, we literally mean an island drenched in cats. There's hundreds of cats. And
if you go to like Google Maps, Aoshima, you walk around, there's cats everywhere. I guess there was no way of hiding the cats. I don't know why you would have done that if you were Google Earth, but there's cats everywhere. So you could probably get the same effect of walking around an island just absolutely dripping with cats just by going on Google Maps, to be honest, because it's actually quite remote, isn't it? It's in the middle of bloody nowhere.
Aoshima?
Yeah.
Aoshima is in Ehime, so it's in the inland sea of Japan, whereas Tashirojima is off the coast of Sendai, and it's probably a little bit more remote in some respects. But, the way these islands got kicked off is somebody had some cats, the cats bred, The cats ate lots of fish. The fishermen were generous, and things got out of hand. And with Tashirojima, I went like 3 or 4 times, and by the third time I went, it was so successful as a tourist destination, they'd built a port there, like a really impressive port, and ferries were going there, and it was both impressive but also a little bit sad, because you get off the boat and there'd be like 100 cats running around, and a fair few of them looked malnourished and whatnot. But I always had mixed feelings about it. It was a bit sad, really, but maybe the cats were happy. I don't know.
The cats were happy. Well, they're announcing that they're going to be neutering all of these cats on Cat Island, and they've started. So 6 years ago, they started spaying and neutering the animals. Is spaying for the lady cat and neutering for the male cat? Is that why there's two different words for the same thing? Right, okay. That's a good lovely bit of usable news for Peter. The announcement comes 6 years after that, and it was under the recommendations of the Aoshima Cat Protection Society, who deemed the feline population was too large for the 13 residents on the island to care for, particularly given that the average age of the human population was 75. Aoshima's resident cat Mama, a 73-year-old resident, basically works very hard with these cats. With tourist numbers dropping, though, and boat trips in the mainland cancelled during poor weather, there's a danger of the cats going hungry. So there's only a few years left for Cat Island. The ageing of both the residents and the cats. All felines aged 7 or older have been neutered in a job that I think I would not enjoy. Spending all of your day walking around an island looking at the genitals of cats to see if they've been neutered or not. I mean, what a job. What a job.
It's more a tale of Japanese islands, though, isn't it, really? Like, it's crazy. In 1960, this island, Aoshima, had 650 humans living on it. Now it's a handful, right? It was like 5 or 6 residents. I think 5 current residents today. So what a drop. And it was the same with Tashirojima up in Miyagi. They'd had I think they'd had like 1,000 people at one point. When I went there, it was below 100. So it's more the sad decline of islands throughout Japan, We always talk about depopulation and whatnot, particularly in the countryside, and it's islands that are feeling it the worst. It's islands that are sort of disappearing, or human populations disappearing. The islands very much are still there and being slowly reclaimed by nature. But I didn't know that there's 11 cat islands in total, though, and the closest one to Tokyo is Enoshima, which is in Kanagawa. It's quite a nice area. And when I did Cat World, as he called it, Cat Nation, they made me go to like 3 cat islands, one of which was Enoshima, and we found one fucking cat the whole day, all the way to Enoshima to look at like one cat. And it was at that point I wondered what I was doing with my life, amongst other scenes in that documentary. But yeah, go there, go to the island, then. Go to Cat Island while you still can, while there's cats.
Can we not move the cats to like the city? People like cats in the city, don't they?
I mean, you could, but then there'd be no Cat Island, would there?
Cat Island, yeah. Isn't it a pity
it's not
that the
same,
cats in the
is it?
city?
It's not the same as having some cats on an island.
Isn't it a pity that the cats are in the city? That's what they would say. That would be the slogan, to get them back out of the city and send them back to the islands.
And actually, Aoshima is next to Rabbit Island, which I know you love. That's just across the sea.
Would cats attack a rabbit? They probably wouldn't, would they?
Only one way to find out.
Nicely. Get them to make love to one another and make cat-rabbit hybrids, the cutest of all the animals.
Cabot Island. Hybrid animals running around.
Was it the island Dr. Moreau? Was that what he was up to? He was sort of creating fantastical creatures, wasn't he? Sort of chimeric hybrids of animals.
This conversation's taking a dark turn indeed.
They're the cats had sex with rabbits, for crying out loud. Put the fax machine on. If you give me enough space, I'm like a gas. At some point I'll talk about rabbits having sex with cats.
It was always going to end this way, wasn't it? We're back to 7 guys fleeing this conversation over in the fax machine.
Wow.
And we're back with a fax machine. Fucking hell. What do we got this week from our listeners, Mr. Dawson? It better not involve fucking cats or rabbits.
Well, that's very much up to Curtis. Dear Chris and Pete, I'm dreaming about I'm dreaming about visiting Japan one day soon and wonder what apps you might suggest that people install when visiting Japan. I've heard of Nerve for alerting people about incoming earthquakes. Oh, Curtis, don't ruin your holiday with worrying about earthquakes. Worry about overindulging in the fine food and drink they have in the cities.
I mean, what apps do you bring when you come to Japan? You're the expert. You've come in.
I've recently started using Ubigi to get my eSIMs. I've used... it's mainly just... I think Waze isn't that good. The old SatNav app isn't that good in Japan. So Google Maps is usually pretty good. Just your common or garden Google Maps. A lot of people get a lot of joy out of Google Translate. I choose instead to just not talk to anyone. So yeah, it's all good. Just Chugaimas and Gomenasai my way through the travels. Really.
I mean, things like Uber still work. You can still call cabs. You can still order food. I remember first time I went to Kyoto with Connor, we stayed in this beautiful traditional ryokan, and rather than having the bespoke kaiseki dinner, he was like, I'm ordering McDonald's. And it was so awkward. This person just turned up to the ryokan with a bag of McDonald's, and the staff were like, what's this? Why is it McDonald's? It felt sacrilegious having a McDonald's in a beautiful traditional inn dating back 400 years. So you can have Uber. I rely on Google Maps more than anyone here. So that's it, though. Honestly, that's all you need, really. And there's a, Nerve. I've never heard of this Nerve app, but I think when there's earthquakes and things going wrong, like J Alert, when like a North Korean missile flies over and they alert everyone, I still think foreign phones in Japan get those warnings. I do recall Dave, when Dave was over, our editor, he said his phone went off due to an earthquake alert. So it does still happen. It does still happen.
If you're using a Japanese carrier, you very much get those alerts anyway. I think they tested the British system quite recently, and it fell somewhere short, let's say.
What have we got to alert people about?
I know, yeah. I think they just went alert. I can't remember what the alert actually said, but I know that a quarter of the people didn't get it. It's just good stuff.
Brilliant.
You
Fantastic.
can't beat British infrastructure. You really can't.
No, absolutely not. Second to none. We got one from Igor who says, "Hello, Chris and Pete. I live in Barcelona, Spain, and I see many Japanese tourists in the city, especially couples coming to do wedding photos at the Sagrada Familia. Recently, the underground train started to play important messages in Japanese, which I guess shows how many visit the country. Why do you think so many Japanese tourists are coming? Are there any particular elements of the Spanish culture or country that the Japanese seem to admire? Kind regards, Igor." I still get traumatised thinking about the Sagrada Familia because I went there and I got locked in the tower. Somebody just... must be near the end of the day that they were doing tours in the Sagrada Familia, and we just couldn't open the door. It was just locked. So somebody just gone, but the tourists are probably gone now. It's 5 p.m. We'll just lock the door.
Right.
And so myself, 2 friends, and a gaggle of tourists were like, "Let us out the tower." And luckily, our shouts were heard below in the streets, and somebody came and let us out. Bloody tower. Bloody big church.
Bloody basilica.
And they only finished it, didn't they, this year? It finally got done after 200 years.
Did they actually finish
yeah.
it? Why have I missed that? It was Gaudi's crowning achievement that you never obviously got to see, and it's been worked on for the last 100 years or something, hasn't it? And they finally finished it. Why did I not hear about that? I just clearly don't read the news.
You don't. But, it's done. And maybe that is why people are going. But, yeah, honestly, I don't know. I mean, Barcelona is a tourist destination beloved the world over, and I'm sure that's why they're going. Most Japanese people... You don't really hear about Spain much in Japan, unfortunately. France gets all the limelight. French cuisine is, fucking beloved here. Spanish food doesn't get the attention it deserves, and I love Spanish food, so yeah, but unfortunately, I don't know. But Barcelona apparently does have a Matsuri kind of festival embracing Japanese culture, so maybe they were over there for that. Who knows?
What's wrong with going to Earl's Court and doing the old eat some takoyaki while some anime people jump around? What's wrong with that, guys? We've got our own Japanese culture in London.
I'm surprised you haven't been invited to host a Japanese event in London.
I don't think anybody needs my opinions about things.
Yeah, probably not. No. Blah, blah,
Welcome
blah,
to the
coolish
stage.
ice cream.
Some colourful fucking Smithy's costume they got on off Amazon. I just the cosplay can look a little bit ratty when you see them on the tube when everyone's going to what's it called? It's not Comic Con. What's it bloody called? Japan.
Oh well, fuck it.
Japan Expo or something. Yeah, whatever it is. It's like a Japanese sort of expo that happens 2 or 3 times a year, and it's just basically like Japanese drummers and sake sales people and anime fans just sort of heading down and sort of going, oh my god, I saw the voice actor for I don't know, Death Note.
Disdain. You are so bitter that you've been invited. I can feel it. I can feel the disdain.
Let me come and let me do stuff. Come and let me do stuff down the expo. Yeah. Hello. Yes, I've been to Japan a few times.
Don't let him in.
What would you like to ask? The apps I use are Ubiggy, and I don't use Uber actually. Thank you. Goodbye.
Don't let Pete Dawson in to your
Where's
anime
my money?
expo.
Where's my yen?
I couldn't imagine a worse host for a Japan-related event than Pete Dawson.
Chris, I'm a goddamn professional. There was a job co-op for a voiceover, and I was like, I've not, I don't have a voiceover agent anymore because they decided to not do agency anymore. They just went, I'm leaving. And I went, all right then, I'll just concentrate on me business then, and that's going very well. But I just saw a job, and I was like, I could probably do this. Quite a quick job, and I stuck me, and they basically asked. It was on like LinkedIn, and there was like a form, and you had to put in your CV. And I've not had a CV for 15 years, and so I just PDF my Wikipedia and sent it.
Oh my god!
It's good stuff, innit? It's good stuff, Mr. Daddy Warbucks, big man on campus bollocks. I just printed to PDF. My Wikipedia and went, it's all in there. You don't need to know whether I fucking played table tennis at university. You don't need to know any of that.
That's like me sending a photo of myself at Buckingham Palace and be like, that's all you need to see. That's all you need.
You know. Yeah, my reputation precedes me as long as you've read the Wikipedia. Yes, I was in a graphic adventure fan game made in Eastern Europe. Yes, I was. I did play the role of Zach McCracken's assistant in Zach McCracken 2: Beyond Time and Space. Yes, I did. Yes, I did do that, actually.
That's all you need to know for the colour.
All you need to know.
The colour of Pete's character. We've got one last anonymous fax message here. It says, Dear Chris and Pete, in March 2025, my wife and I are finally heading off on our long-awaited honeymoon to Japan. We'll be spending 3 weeks exploring Tokyo, Osaka and Kyoto before jetting off to Seoul. Now, in classic Passenger King fashion, I have absolutely no clue what my wife has planned. I'm pretty sure it'll involve feeding some deer in Nara, riding a few roller coasters and slurping tons of rum, and of course, lots of shopping. I'm trying to rack up some husband points by planning something special for her. Any suggestions for a romantic spot or experience that would make for a great memory? Thanks a million. Cheers, Anonymous. And lots of my friends listen to the podcast, says Anonymous. Romantic? Oh, crikey. Fucking a viewpoint overlooking, maybe go to the Chureto Pagoda overlooking Mount Fuji. It's great because you go there, you climb up for half an hour, and then you don't see Mount Fuji, and you want to smash a window. And that's my experience every single time I go that fucking pagoda. But go there, it's great. Pete, what's your suggestion?
I mean, you can't drink Strong Zero in the street anymore in Shibuya, which is a real shame.
Romance.
So you may have to go to. There's I'm literally looking at a website that basically lists Japan's romantic destinations. It is cheating. I don't mind that. Miyota-Iwa in Mie Prefecture, the Wedded Rocks. There are 2 rocks that are married, which is very cute.
Because there's a rope draped over the 2 rocks, rather ominously.
Yeah, married by the sacred Shinto Shiminozawa rope and representing the union of 2 main Shinto deities, Izanami and Izanagi. The sacred robe is replaced 3 times a year in a special Shinto ceremony, and it weighs over a ton. But basically, it's just these 2 rocks that are in the sea, like tiny little kind of like basically where birds live, and completely inaccessible. But they're married. These 2 little rocks, and there's a big rock and a little rock, and they're married. And the prefectural government have made it very clear that is a hetero relationship. They haven't done that. But you would imagine they would, wouldn't they? These rocks are not gay. You can imagine like the Japanese prefecture really, really go to town on heteronormative stuff.
I think we need at least one good suggestion before we go. And my suggestion isn't a rock.
Right.
It is Ginzan Onsen in Yamagata, which is where American Pete proposed to his wife, and where I took American Pete, and he ended up getting chained to me with the handcuffs and dragged around town. But it's bloody nice in the snow. It looks like Spirited Away, and it's beautiful. Good coffee, good hot chocolate. The hot springs are so fucking hot you can't go inside them, as I found out on one time that I went to stay there and couldn't literally put my foot in. But apart from that, it's very romantic, especially in the snow. So, Ginzan Onsen, Yamagata.
Beautiful.
Or Pete Donaldson's Rocks down in Mir. Keep the stories, questions, comments coming into BornJapanPodcast@gmail.com, or right away in the comments down below on YouTube. But for now, guys, have yourself a great few days, and we'll see you right back here to do it over again on the Abroad Japan Podcast. Bye for now. Oh, I'm out of coffee. Shit. The iced coffee's gone. No.